Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And it's after Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, December 2025, the 26th of the month. And I want to welcome you here because it's almost over for the year's end. Are you preparing to count your deficits, the losers? Are you getting rid of them for tax write-offs if you're in the stock market? Because it's stock market heaven. What do I mean by that? Volatility is good for certain people. Don't miss out. Stock, crypto, it's all over. Market trading, you need to be in, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about. Investing ideas here tonight. Get your pen, pad, and papers ready. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Financial Friday night live stream. And Stop Struggling Now gear, check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here on this Friday evening. Some of you are out here returning gifts. Some of you are out here chilling. Some of you are watching some football, basketball, baseball, sport activities, or lounging with family and friends. So I want to thank you once again for being here on this 26th of December, the day after Christmas. And there's a lot to look into for the last week of 2025. Just keep in mind, you've been put on notice. If you need help out here, because we know 80% of you need help because you're living paycheck to paycheck during the month, findhelp.org. That's right. If you're in the United States, findhelp.org, put in the zip code, and you'll see a bunch of nonprofits. They receive money from the government and the state to help you, American citizens. So that's where you go, findhelp.org. I'll put it also in the chat room. I must make a PSA announcement because I found out recently that on mobile phones, if you're trying to get to the live chat, if you watch this on replay, then you have to swipe left the first comment. You'll see some dots also on the right hand side, but you hold it down, swipe to the left, and it'll move a menu, hopefully, not 100%, but hopefully live chat replay. And then you press on it to open it up, and you'll see this in live chat for the replay. Now, I will also put in the chat room 211 in case you're having mental problems, mental health issues. That's 211.org. So both findhelp.org will be in the chat room. The links are there. So there you go. That's the first part. First things first. On Monday, we're going to be talking about something else. Because if you're making investments, if you're dealing in crypto and you're trying to cash out, most people, depending on which country you live in, when you cash out, you send it to a central exchange. Now, I have nothing against central exchanges, except they hold up my money. So when I try to deposit money in the central exchange, they make me wait 3-4 days before I can actually send it out of the exchange. Fair enough. You have a lot of people doing shenanigans. It's understandable. But when I send it back down, I don't want anybody holding up money and I don't want to pay additional fees unnecessarily. Remember, taxation without representation means you have less wealth. Let me give you guys something to think about when you're out here investing in stocks and you decide that you want to hand it over to a company and that company charges you 1% a year. That's the annual fee to manage your account. Think about something. The money you make is 1% for the first year, another 1% for the second year. You go up to 10 years, they're taking 10% of your wealth. Does that sound like an okay deal? Well, a lot of people think it's okay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. If they make you about 7 to 9% annually, you're probably going to be okay. You're probably going to be good with it. But when you really start thinking about it, hold on a minute. 10%, then every year, 11 years would be 11%. 15 years is 15%. Heaven forbid, 20 years because you left in a 401k all this time. 20% of your money gone. Think about it. It could add up, and it does add up, ladies and gentlemen. Taxation happens in different forms. So let me see who's in the house tonight. We have one of our members here, a businessman, an investor, a real estate guy, a stock guy. He's all over the map investing in assets that pay you. And welcome, EV Place, to the SSN Nation after Christmas Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And I humbly appreciate the membership for the channel. And he brings his tagline, "Good evening, SSN family. I hope all is doing well." That's right. And everybody, make sure you smash that like button on the way in to give it a one piece, because the YouTube gods need to know that people are watching. That's what they need to know. Now, EV Place, I'm not going to let it slide early today, because EV Place, like I mentioned, he's a stock advisor, a stock market investor. He invests in real estate. He also invests on himself by having his own business, renewable energy sources, ladies and gentlemen. And all of you that love the sound systems in your cars, in your vehicles, in your vans, in your SUVs, you are missing out. Because what I want to know is who's powering up 700, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 watts when you're stopped and you're chilling, having fun at the park. I'm just saying, this is what we used to do. I don't know what you guys are doing these days, but at the show, what are you using? Paying extra, I know, for the electricity that the venue charges you. I know that's what they're doing per day. Now, how about riding around, ladies and gentlemen, and renewing your energy supply? Well, welcome to EV Place, ladies and gentlemen, because EV Place has the renewable energy source while you're driving around. It renews your batteries in the back. So therefore, when you have those 700 watts, 1,400 watts, 2,100 watts of renewable power, it can be on for hours. Where do you go? You go right here. The link I'm about to put into the chat room down below. That's where you go. Tell them you're from SSN Nation. Show some love, ladies and gentlemen, and get your sound system upgraded, because the cleaner the sound, the more power you can put through. Everything sounds better. And that's what you do out there. Sound better. You guys know what it's like. Rambling, rumbling, tat, tat, tat. You hear all this stuff on these speaker systems because it's not clean, but now you got clean energy. There you go. eBay, ladies and gentlemen, go over there, check it out. Show some love if you are looking for your speaker system. Now look at this. PLTY dividend, $99 per share this week. He's doing the salsa dance. Now, again, what are we talking about? Stock market heaven, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about it here. Pelletier, PLTR, is a stock that the government backs. So, they're going to be fine. And how does PLTY play into this? Because it's a yield max ETF fund. And what do? They do stock option investing on the stock PLTR this week, and they pay out weekly 99 cents per share, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's doing the salsa dance, because you can understand if a person had, I'm not saying everybody would have this, but let's just say you had 10 shares, just to make it simple, and those 10 shares cost you, let's say $550. And now those 10 shares gave you $10. Now, how do you check your return on investment? since we're talking about Financial Friday night, we have people that don't understand how you figure out if you invest in something, what your rate of return is. So let's just say we got $10 and this week only, $99. They pay weekly. So it's going to be more than 99. I mean, it was 99 cents is what I'm trying to say per share. That's the dividend. But 99 cents is just for this week. What about the previous Friday and the Friday before that? So it's clearly over 99 cents. But we're just going to use this one week. And if I did $10 divided by our investment of $550, that's going to give us a return. And so far, if you just said one week, you would be very happy with 1.8% for a week. So if somebody said clearly you're going to get 2% for a month, maybe more because, they had 4 other weeks. So I'm pretty sure we might be at $2. So now you understand you might like getting 2.5, 3% per month, 36% or more annual return, and the potential for the stock price to go up. Win win. Hopefully, you understand what I'm saying out there because it's Financial Friday Night live stream. This is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Once again, congratulations to everybody that's with the PLTY program. That's very, very cool. In fact, you know what? While I was talking about the price, because I should have gotten back in when it was $53. So let's go see what the price is. It's $54.62. So actually, it's even better because I used $55, 550 when I could have used $546.20. So 1.8% just for this week. I think a lot of people would take that. In fact, people would take 1.8% a month. And guess what? Next Friday, it's going to be a new year. But the previous Friday was the 19th. They gave out some more dividends. And on the 12th, they gave out more dividends. And on the 4th, they gave out more dividends. So, needless to say, it was a very, very nice month for dividends with PLTY, which is a Yield Max ETF stock. All right, hopefully that helps out. And speaking of stocks, let me go to it. Get your free shares of stock if you have not already, because it's stock market heaven, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to get into why you should be trading. Did you guys see silver bounce up? You could have been trading it. Did you see gold bouncing up? You could have been trading it, making money during the day in a short period of time. Tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. It just depends on how much you were going to put in or risk. So keep this in mind. All right. Now, let's get your Robinhood, Moo, Webull. If you haven't downloaded the software yet, what are you waiting on? You get free shares of stock. So stop playing out here. All right. So I'm going to put in, no, I don't want to put that in. We got to do Webull too, right? Robinhood, Webull, Moo, all get free shares of stock. I'm sure most of you have heard about these, but for all of you who have not and watch this in replay, I still am going to do this. All right. So just do it the old fashioned way, ladies and gentlemen. You earn it. And there's different ways that you can earn it. So don't be sitting on the sidelines watching the parade go by because it's getting daunting out here. Yes, it's a risk when you do your own trading. It's a risk when you do your dividends, but dividends are less of a risk because you know they're coming. You have to do your due diligence. You have to do your own research. We're just giving you some ideas that you need to write down. That's why you bring your pen, pad, and paper every live stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Again, I appreciate it. And remember, become a subscriber to the channel as well and click the all notification bells. I have to keep reminding you because now I find out again, eBay's changed things. They're trying to put in ads. I've been trying to block it, but they're trying to put in ads every few minutes, messing up the flow. I don't get it. It's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I put it in the chat room. Get your free shares of stock. I did it twice. Now, let's get into the stock market heaven and why you should have been paying attention. And you should be paying attention on Monday because there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. Volatility is great for if you're stock market trading. You could be doing options, which I don't know anything about. You could be doing stocks themselves, trading them. You could be trading yield max ETF funds if you wanted to. You can trade anything. Like on Wednesday nights, for instance, yield max ETFs, because Wednesday they give out their dividend numbers to pay out on Friday, people offload after hours. After hours, what typically happens? DIM Pals takes advantage because the stock market for yield max ETFs tend to go down. You can make money going down if you're actually trading that particular yield max ETF fund. Just saying, that's one of the options. But again, I'm about to give you guys the thing for 2026 because you have 1 year, ladies and gentlemen, 1 year to get your act together. We want you to have your credit at 775. Why? It's no mystery here. People have heard this before. You want to make sure because you want that 0% at 36 months. Some people are going, Eric, they never have that. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what is going on. You haven't been paying attention. I will be making a video over this weekend about some statistics and what's happening. This is why gold and silver has spiked because the whole world is investing in gold and silver, trying to go to the safest place on the planet that they can go to because everybody's currency is out of whack because every country prints money. Inflation isn't what the countries say they are. So therefore they're saying, well, forget all that. We'll buy this because we can always trade it worldwide or sell it worldwide. So again, let's get into it. The Candlestick Bible, #1 on the list. If you've never traded in your life, you should get the Candlestick Bible. Where can you go to get that? You can go to stopstrugglingnow.com. And at the top on the menu, click Candlestick Bible. It's Candlestick Trading Bible, by the way. I should put it that way. I'm also putting it down here in the chat room. So again, everybody can get it while we're live right now. And you can either go to stopstrugglingnow.com and click on the menu up top, and that will give you the PDF that you can download. All right. We make it simple for you. This isn't smoke and mirrors out here. You get to learn at your own pace, at your leisure, however you learn, because everybody's brain works differently. And then what do you need to do? Just to confirm what the Candlestick Bible is doing, open up some sort of chart so you can actually put in like SPX, XPY, QQQ, Pelletier. You can put in NASDAQ 30. I mean, US 100. All of these things are different stock options, not options as in option trading, but stock choices that you can actually make money if the market goes up or if the market goes down, which is the best of both worlds. And how do you predict that? You might be like me. I don't know how to trade. That's why I brought out the Candlestick Bible. What else am I going to bring out? Because I need you to understand you can have a demo account, and I'm going to use CoinEx. I use CoinEx. So I just got to give you guys, everybody who uses CoinEx has a referral link. So I'm using mine. CoinEx, I have to say, is not regulated in the United States. It's a broker that's been out for years. All right. They use crypto. So you can upload USTD, Bitcoin, USDC to fund your account, but you don't have to fund your account right now. You can use their demo account in MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. All right. There's learning curves. Might as well learn. All right. Trading Views, most people's favorite, but CoinEx is not allowed on Trading View. Go figure. I know why. They're not regulated in the United States. That's why. All right. Let's just put things in perspective. Now, the other reason I like it is because they accept crypto, just like all the other brokers pretty much accept crypto too. That's not the thing. All right. So make sure you use the link down in the chat room. Let me see. I might have missed somebody. EV Play says 1%. There you go. And if you guys just now missed this, Here's the link. Go through the chat room if you want renewable energy sources for your speaker system in your vehicle or SUV or van, whatever. This is the man to see. EV Place, and there's the eBay link. You can go check it out. All right. Show some love. Support our own. All right. It's getting chilly out here in America as well. It's time for you to go to Beachfront Java. Our own Professor Auntie Val and family has their own coffee shop. So there you go. Beachfront Java. Use the promo code SSN Lifestyle. All caps, all one word. All caps, all one word. If you want to leave a comment, say you're from SSN Nation. So why? You will get a discount for life after your first order. I know. And some people are like, man, I only get espresso. Check. She's got you. Some of you go, well, I only like drip. Check. She's got you. Some say, oh, all I got is a Keurig machine. Check. She's got you. Some of you go, well, I got whole beans. And by the way, I only like the ones that are made in South America. Check. Some of you are going only the beans in Africa. Check. She's got you. Asian beans. Check. She's got you. Whole beans from a half-pound bag up to a 2, 3, 4, 5-pound bag. Now you know why you want that discount for life. So go to beachfrontjava.com, ladies and gentlemen, and show some love again for our own. All right, here it is. He was going 55 cents. Okay, so no, it can't be 55 cents. If it's 55 cents, that'd be 1%. But I thought you said 99 cents. Oh, well, does not matter. Either way, I like 1%. That works for the week. The 1 week, I'll take that any day. 1 week, fine. Even if it's only 0.5 next week. So what? That's 1.5. If somebody tells me I get like 2% to 2.5% a month, legit, no craziness, that is cool. And again, you have to be in the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. And right here, again, make sure you download this first. Some people are I have a method to the madness. And I watch out for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm watching out for you. You guys don't realize it. I talked about something on Wednesday. So I had to bring it up because, I'm California kid. I got friends all over the place. We have problems because everybody's like, man, what's going on? I talked about this on Friday, so I have to bring it up. I have to show it because some people still, I told you I said Beverly Hills, did I not? So download that CoinX if you want to be trading. And I have another situation because you're going to download your money, crypto, because they do USDT and USC and Litecoin and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. But the fees are cheaper, USDT or USDC, right? So you're going to download it back to a regulated exchange. So there's nothing wrong with your government knowing how much money you download and made or whatever, and they can report you or hem you up. See, again, the reason why I'm different is because I've had my assets hemmed up. All right. Once you have your assets hemmed up by the federal government or the state government, then you act differently. That's why I act accordingly. If you want to sign up with Tasty Trader or Ninja Trader or Apex Trading, or I don't really care who it is, regulated environment, that's fine. No problem. Okay. I'm trying to stay out of any regulations. So if they want to cut you off, you can be cut off, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Think about that. That's why the next move after what we're about to get to is coming up. But first, I want to show you something else because a lot of people go, oh, my safe deposit box. I was talking about this on Wednesday. I just want you guys to understand everything that I'm talking about is not some fantasy. This is stuff that has already happened. It's happened to me. It's happened to other friends of mine. It's already happened. So here is something. Let me put this on the screen. So in fact, you know what? I'm not even going to have to do all that. I'm going to put this because you make the money. You do stock trading, crypto trading. You have brokerage accounts. You have money in other accounts. You don't want it taken just because the government says whatever. All right. In the case of what you see on the screen, I put a link in the chat room so you guys can just, actually it's on Google. But anyhow, here it is, March 2021. FBI and other federal agencies raided a private safe deposit box facility in Beverly Hills, ladies and gentlemen. It was called U.S. Private Vaults, not a traditional bank. You know why? Because if you get a court order and go to a bank and you have a so-called safe deposit box, the bank will allow them to open up your box. Okay, it's not safe. All right, it's only safe from criminals, but it's not safe from the criminal government element. All right, look here. Federal agents seized the contents of all 1,400 boxes, an action that led to lawsuits and was later ruled an unconstitutional overreach by an appeals court. Yeah, damn right. Because look at this. What happened is these guys go, hey, I want John Smith. We have a warrant to open up John Smith's box. So, U.S. private vaults, true to what these places are not private, they're not safe. They did what they always do. Oh, yeah, here's a warrant. Let these guys in. Do you see the fallacy, ladies and gentlemen? You're not safe. That's why you always have to have your duffel bag of cash handy. Just saying. All right. Now, so here it is. The federal agents executed a search warrant as part of an investigation into the U.S. private vaults. The business was charged with conspiracy to sell drugs and money laundering. That's not it. But we'll get into it because once the government uses terms like fraud, money laundering, drugs, all of a sudden the judges go, oh, yeah, let me sign this warrant. Yeah, whatever you're telling me must be true. Okay, enough. I can't take it no more, ladies and gentlemen. I have to act like this because it boils my blood listening to all this BS all the time. And then your friends go, oh, yeah, you must have done it because they said so. Look at here. The judge signed off on it. I'm like, do you understand where you live? All right, enough. The warrant. The warrant explicitly stated it did not authorize a criminal search or seizure of the contents of the individual safe deposit boxes. Did you hear that? That was the warrant limits. You're not supposed to go through people's safe deposit boxes. Its purpose was to inventory the contents to identify owners so property could be returned. So let me get this straight. They take the stuff out of people's safe deposit boxes, and then the owners are supposed to identify themselves. Well, that sounds like robbery to me, but I don't know about you guys, but that's robbery. So, anyhow, despite the warrant limits, FBI agents opened every box, photographed personal documents, including pay stubs, oh my, wills, and even human remains, and used drug dogs on all the cash. The FBI had a plan to permanently confiscate items worth over 5,000 using civil asset forfeiture, operating on the presumption that hundreds of box holders were involved in unknown crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, why would you think hundreds of box owners would be on crime? I thought you were checking out somebody's safe deposit box because they were the known criminal. Now, do you understand the fallacy? So, again, they just opened them up. Now, get this, an estimated 86 million in cash and millions more in gold, silver, and jewelry and other valuables were seized. Here's what I'm talking about. The victims of the raid were hundreds of individuals, many of whom were law-abiding citizens who used a private facility for reasons such as mistrust of traditional banks and to store heirlooms and life savings. They were forced to prove their innocence to get their property back. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? Just think of it this way. Police knock on your door, have a warrant. You open the door. Next thing you know, they bring in some agents. They're taking everything out of your house and then tells you, prove that you own it. That is literally what they did. So now you got to prove that you bought it and you own it, and you don't remember everything in your house because you're not stealing from your house. Just like you're not going to remember everything you put in a safe deposit box that you haven't seen in a 6 month or a year or 2 years or 5 years. You're just going to remember some things off the top of your head, or you might have had a list. But either way, a lot of people will not have an inventory list. nor remember everything that was in there. So that's what they were counting on. They were going to keep everything. That's why the lawsuits ensued. Because now, when people did start showing up and saying, "Oh, yeah, my stuff was insured," you're damn right. Here you go. This is how much it was insured for. They're like, "Oh, no, we weren't supposed to give it back to you." Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, ladies and gentlemen, now you start thinking. Remember, these guys were not putting their money in the bank. They weren't using safe deposit box as they shouldn't. And then they said, "Well, I'll go to this private guys because they've never been raided before," until when it happens. Now, look at here. A federal judge blocked the government's initial attempts to keep the property without proof of criminal activity. What did I tell you guys? They just took everybody's stuff. They didn't, nobody was guilty of anything. Yeah, yeah. Tell your friends. The ones that always sit there and go, the federal government's always right and all that. They don't lie. Why would they do it? Yada, 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 all that BS. Okay, stop. Now, in January 2024, the Ninth U.S. Circuit of Appeals ruled that the FBI's actions violated the Fourth Amendment, calling the searches unconstitutional and an abuse of power, as it was. But it's after the fact. You understand? After the fact. Do you know where you live? I do. Now, the court ordered the government to destroy all records it had created from its illegal search of the innocent bondholders' belongings. All right, the government has since returned the property to the Institute for Justice's clients and abandoned its forfeiture claims against them. The legal battle has been a prominent example of civil asset forfeiture reform efforts. Remember, this is 2024. This ain't 1980s. These guys got away with it. There was none of this social media. How many people would this have happened to? The 1,400 people? Okay, let's just say it was 5,000 people in the whole country. So now they're whistling in the wind. The newspapers wouldn't take up this. They'd be like, nah, somebody must be a drug dealer. That's why they did it. Somebody must have done money laundering. All of this stuff is the words that they use so they can just F over your rights. Now, this is why I say Bankus card is next. After I make money trading, I'm sending it outside the country. I'm not leaving it there. Come on, let's get real. All right, we're not leaving it there. All right, let's just make this perfectly clear. We're not leaving it there. We're going outside the country with the Bankus card. Monday, we'll get into it a little more because there's money making with the Bankus card. All right, we're going to keep talking about this. So let me see if this is going to come up. Here goes the link. And by the way, it's a money making venture. I'm just going to say it because I might as well get into it, because if I'm going to promote and talk about it, then let's talk about, there's a link that I'm about to put in the chat room. It links to an app. If you have a Samsung, Android, it's easier for the app. When you do an Apple, it has different ways to do it. They give you instructions when you're doing it, but it's just weird, right? But nonetheless, please use the link. Why? Because there's a money making feature. Because if you share your link, then they give you like 1 or 2% when people upload to the card, because it's a prepaid crypto Visa debit card. Your name's not on it. So don't lose it. It's a black card. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a card without a name on it. And so it's a prepaid card. Whatever you download to the card in crypto, that's what you're going to have. And you can swipe it. It's on the Visa network. All right. It's that simple. Not inside of America, by the way, in another country, Mexico. The office is in Mexico City. So therefore, not regulated by the United States. And before you get into the ultimate question, because a lot of people go, well, why am I protected? How am I protected? I said, look, you're not protected in the first place in a regulated environment. After somebody brought to my attention about the Peter Schiff Bank, I heard about it, but now I studied up on it. What did they do? He's regulated in Puerto Rico. He doesn't even run the bank because he has his officers, the regulation department that's sitting in the place. They have to be legit. If you're a bank, you're regulated. So you have to make sure that you're not doing money laundering and other activities. But yet, lo and behold, they still come in and said he's doing money laundering because he had investors outside of America in Puerto Rico. So he's like, no, I don't, because everybody's checked out. I don't believe, but we don't care. You need to shut it down. We're confiscating stuff. He had hundreds of millions of dollars over there. Again, this is why I don't want jurisdiction. So when somebody tells me about safe, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's no such thing. Just like America breaks all its treaties, you don't have a Fourth Amendment. You don't have no constitutional rights when they claim that you're doing money laundering, drugs, fraud. Those are the trigger words that a judge goes, sight unseen, you're right, must be something because you said so. I'll let you go over there and investigate, confiscate, no problem. All right. So, what do I do? Bankus, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to find out more, Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have a Zoom. But please use my link to download the app first. You can order the cards later. But if you want to order the cards now, the plastic card, I'm not going to have mine until at least January 8th or 9th, when I get back to where my mail is. And so, therefore, just let you know, the plastic card with the tap feature, that is $35. $10 shipping makes it $45. You either have to upload to the app crypto in the value of $45 to order that card shipped to whatever country you're in. The other thing is they have a metal card, the ones that go ting, ting, ting when you drop them. They have one of those, but it doesn't have tap feature. But it's $75 plus $10 shipping to your country. They ship to Africa, they ship to USA, they ship all over the world, Asia markets, all over. All right. It takes 2 to 3 weeks to come to USA. When you're in other countries, it sometimes can take 4 weeks, 5 weeks, because of the mail systems are all different all over the world. Just giving you an idea of the broad spectrum of time frames. All right. So we'll find out. I ordered mine December 14th. I think, I'm pretty sure now, because I just realized it was the day before the grand opening, the 15th. So therefore, we'll know, because January 8th or 9th will be about 3 weeks, right? So we'll find out. It could already be there. But all I'm saying is, for sure, I'll know if it's 3 weeks or less, because I'll have it. All right. I anticipate to have it because other friends of mine in California, they have gotten theirs in 2 weeks. All right. Just to let you know. So again, that's what we're doing. Now, that, again, don't think you can do a cash advance. People have already tried it. They've already been to the ATMs, they work. They've been to the grocery store, it works. Gas station, it works. Liquor store, it works. Whatever. It's just an ATM card. Debit card. I mean, there's nothing, it has a Visa logo, so there's nothing different. All right. Um, so that's all you have to remember. All right, let's go. Yes, my target on PLTY is 55 cents a week. 1% dividend this week reaches almost 2%. Just multiply that by 52 weeks exactly. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. He said it best. That's damn near 100% if it was 1.8 every week, but it won't be. So we're going to temper ourselves and go to, instead of 99 cents, we'll go down to 55 cents. Half. Oh, that'll be actually still 1%. Actually, now I see where you're going. So let's go. I have to go down to less. But the point is, he's making a very good point. If you had 1% a week, and it ends up being 52 weeks, 52%, ladies and gentlemen, plus your stock price rising up. Oh, did I not tell you? Pelletier and all these guys get government contracts, Microsoft, Google. These guys get subsidies and government contracts, and they've already said that they're going to buy back their own shares of stock over the next few years, next 2 years left on a lot of them, like Google. NVIDIA, Microsoft. They already have started last year, their 1 year. So now they have 2 more years. So these stock prices will rise. And when you have inflation, the stock market will rise. So you need to be in the stock market. And if I haven't put it in here yet, the Bankus, I know I did because I saw it before, but I'm putting it again. Get your Bankus card right now. Order today. James Way, I want to thank you so much for getting it on Wednesday. Christmas, he was ordering the card on Wednesday. So he's going to have his sometime in the next 3 weeks as well. So we'll let you guys know. Once I have it, I'll show you. And then I have some videos on this weekend. I was looking for the videos tonight, which I have them in my phone because we're in the WhatsApp group. And they give it, everybody's happy when they get their card. They go down and then they show the video where they're using it and things like that, or they'll show that they received it in the mail. And I was trying to load up some of those, but I couldn't. But you guys understand. All right. So once you do that, you have the Candlestick Bible, you have the CoinEx for your where you can upload your crypto and get a trading account. Then with CoinEx, they have a demo account in MetaTrader 4. All right. Just keep that in mind. MetaTrader 5, demo account. You load a demo account so that way when you're reading the Candlestick Bible, you can actually go over and put a chart up, and it doesn't matter what the chart is, right? It could be XAU, which is gold versus silver. I mean, gold versus USD, or it could be silver versus USD, or it could be SPY, or it can be NASDAQ top 30 stocks, US 100, US 30, whatever stock you want. It could be PLTY. You put the candlesticks on. You'll learn. There's a learning curve. That's why you take your time. There's a learning curve because you don't know what to click on. But you'll learn. Just keep going. Study the candlesticks. Then you open up the chart, look at the candlesticks, and then you'll see, okay, it is a thing. And what you'll find out is all of the stocks have candlesticks and the same formations and patterns form. So that gives you an advantage. All right. This is not new. Uh-oh, what's this? I got Google search here. Oh, that didn't work good. Unless it was able to be caught. We'll find out. Okay. Oh, there's something I need to do too, just in case Brian P shows up. Oh, Brian P shows up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I have bad news for you, like I always do, because you don't understand where you live right now. You still think America's the shining hill. Yes, it's nice. It's great. It's awesome. We still have the number one stock market in the world. And because of that, a lot of things are overlooked. You lift up the hood and you start seeing, wait a minute, we have 8 spark plugs, but only 6 are firing. The car's still going though, because those 6 cylinders are backed with 600 horsepower, 500 pounds of torque. So we're still good. We're still moving. There's a little problem. We'll fix it later. Okay, keep fixing it later. Because now you're going to do, to this example I'm using about the car, your car gets like 25 miles per gallon. But now, because you're missing those other 2, now all of a sudden you're getting 22 miles per gallon on the freeway. All right. That's how it starts. How about this, ladies and gentlemen? Pennsylvanians dropping health insurance double. Tell you. Pennsylvanians are dropping their health insurance as premiums are set to double on January 1st, 2026. Why is it? Because the GOP party will not subsidize the Affordable Care Act. They would rather subsidize ICE, which the prisons and Alligator Alley type places, and the all of the uh, building supplies and everything you need for these effed up facilities, concentration camp, food coming in. Those guys are making bank. American citizens get nothing in return. You have less people producing, more people incarceration. Now all of a sudden, you do understand when you don't have people to pick the fruit and veggies and people to do housing construction and doing other labor tasks that's not on the livable wage or barely over livable wages. You do understand, I hope, there is a void. And that means the cost of living prices go up, regardless if you believe what happened in the last October and November. And they left out the 20 baskets of goods and they put 3 of them in there and they left everything else zero. That's how we have a inflation rate of 2.7. So you left out 17 items. You said they were zero. We know it's not zero. They put only 3 items to get the average of 2.7. So therefore, I'm to believe what I always believe. It's probably more like 6, 7, 8% just in 1 month. And if you believe that for the year it's going to be something like 3%, you've lost your mind. You guys know better than this. You pay your gas bills, you pay your electric bills, you pay. Come on, stop. You go to the grocery store. Stop playing right now. All right. Anyhow, let's get back to this. I'm going to put this link down here because this is going to happen to a lot of people. This isn't just a Pennsylvania thing. This is an American thing right now. All right. GOP out here playing with people right now. Luckily, you got 4 or 5 GOP senators who are going to vote with the Democrats to try and make sure that this Affordable Care Act does get subsidized. The only problem is the Senate, the GOP has, I believe, 53 seats to 49, something like that. So you would need like 10 or 11 senators to do the Affordable Care Act to get up to 60 votes. Because we know the majority of them are going to say no. This is their thing. They have no concept of a plan, nothing to help people. They'd rather you not pay for your health insurance. And then when you get sick, you will be going to the hospital and you will incur the 50,000, the 25,000, the 30,000, the 10,000 for your visit, depending on the severity of it. And then you can't pay that. So now the hospitals go out of business because they don't have revenue coming in because our government, because they're wasting $1 trillion on ICE, they're wasting $1 trillion on the military industrial complex. You're paying for the tariff disaster, like giving farmers $12 billion. You're trying to give people moving money around, which we're broke. Do you guys understand the problem? This is why you need to get in the stock market game. You need to be in a game that you can earn your money, whether you have a job or not, whether you have a business or not. That is the key. Your business is not even sacred or safe anymore out here, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't pay people a livable wage, then how are you going to have people consistently coming into work? You're not. Why are you going to have people consistently not giving a damn about your business when they're not getting livable wages? Now, that's not every corporation, but mom and pop businesses have a devil of a time because they can't pay people $55 an hour, $45 an hour, $60 per hour. That's where the problem comes in. And the most people employed are under mom and pop businesses, not your Microsofts, not your Googles, not all these Amazon. Nah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Now, do you get the bad news now? Now, do you understand why 80% and rising is going to go down? So, Banker's card, get it right now. Let's see what else. We got 48 minutes and ticking. All right. Because again, stock market, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you need to study. That's what you need to be in right now. Everything else can sit on the burners for a minute. You need to understand how to trade. All right. It's going to take a while. It's taken me 2.5 months because that Candlestick Bible, Trading Bible, that PDF is 168 pages. I was doing exactly what I'm saying. I would look at, read, try to understand, comprehend, because you're going to have to reread. You can't maintain everything in your mind, just one read. So I try to reinforce it by looking at the charts. And then I'm trying to formulate how I feel comfortable to win. So that way in the demo account, I can test. I said, well, let me see what happens if I put a stop loss on here. Let's see what happens if I put the high stop loss. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, like I said, I learned that they sweep, meaning a high wick or a lower wick, because anybody that has a stop loss, it picks it up and sweeps it out. So now you've sold at that price point. And if it's at a real stop loss, then you've lost money, even though it was just a temporary spike. It wasn't like the whole candlestick came all the way down. It was just like a spike. How it just went down to the low or went up to the high. It takes out those numbers. And now the market either goes up or down. But they already made everybody sell. Not everybody, but a lot of people who were at these had their stops at these numbers. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I'll never do that. Because the stock market goes up there's an uptrend, then it can temporarily come down a little bit. So if your stop losses are trailing and they come back down and tap it, you sold out, then the thing starts going back up and you're pissed. So that long run up You could be making hundreds or thousands of dollars, and you got shortchanged because you weren't paying attention, hit the stop loss, and then it kept going up. And you're sitting there like, damn, I could have made like $1,000. Instead, I only made 250. Just saying. All right. That's why I use the demo account. All right. Now, I want to hear you guys out here winning because I know there's some people here winning. Let me see who's going to be else in the house tonight. Oh, here we go. We have post-retirement travel. Another investor's here. Another member of the channel, which I humbly appreciate. Thank you so much. That's right. We were demonetized for over 2 years. Then all of a sudden, one day, they flipped it back on. They used to say I did harmful rhetoric. I still do harmful rhetoric. You guys heard me talking so far. Welcome to the SSN Nation, Mr. Worldwide. After Christmas, Financial Friday Night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Merry Christmas. Let's do this. And if you're doing stock market trading, it's a very, very Merry Christmas. Volatility is your kingdom. All right. That's all I can tell you. MDA 0214, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation After Christmas Financial Friday Night live stream. And he brings his tagline. It's simple, it's succinct. How long have they been around? Who's this? Pelletier, PLTY. Oh, Bankus, you must mean. The Bankus has been around for a few years, by the way. But this new feature is not. They've been in the basically financial banking type business. So, for instance, there's an app that they came out with for the card. All right. So let me go do it this way. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if they changed their website ever since they implemented December 15th this card offer. But I'm going to their website, Bankus, BANCUS.io, and they list services that they currently have done for years. So let's see here. Let me get it up. It's taking a minute. I'll just go to the home. I should have just went to the home page. Never really paid attention. All right. Let's wait. Where's this at? What am I doing in here? Okay, here we go. Bankus offers real-world assets marketplace where users can access real-world asset tokenization projects. Oh my, that's not on the app. This is on there. What they've been doing. They've been out here doing some other things. Again, there's a Bankus token, which is not part of this app scenario. This app that you're downloading is not for all of their little tokens and all that. This is for a debit card that you can download your crypto to. That's what I'm using it for. All this other stuff, hey, that's part of Bankus, but it's not on their app right now. Just so you guys know, loans with crypto as collateral, staking digital assets. You can do all this with the Bankus normal services, but not, as far as I know, with the Bankus app. It's not associated. So they have this Visa debit card available. All right. There's other components, but again, refer other people. You get 1 or 2% of whatever somebody uploads for life. And I shouldn't say for life, but however long they have that program, you're getting paid every time somebody uploads money or downloads money to your card. All right. Or when somebody buys the card, I forgot about that too. You get a 1 to 2%. Again, I haven't even looked at that. I'm just letting you guys know. They're talking about you can sign up other people. Obviously, you can refer other people. So you refer 100 people, 10 people, 5 people. Every time somebody uploads or buys a card, you make a little $2, $4, whatever. Cool. So they have a promotion, by the way. Oh, by the way, let me go look at this promotion. Hold on a second. Where did I have it at? Oh, I had it on here. Had it on my laptop. Let me go check this out. The promotion was February 15th. That's all I can remember. Let me see. Do I have something else here? All right. Let's see. No. I'm going to put this here so people, I told you guys about this a Affordable Care Act was into one from Kennedy clinic, right? And then people that are insured have now it's in digital format. Guard of the you and the middle class grew at the best rate around the world. But then pollution restricted the United States oil any longer. Later, but not, it's the stock market, ladies and gentlemen, that you need to pay attention to. We don't need to pay attention to anything else. You don't, because you could find yourself without a job, without a business. You could be one of the fallen angels out here because you're trying to help people, and now you're finding out it's going to cost you more money to live, and you can't find the money. All right, just keep that in mind. All right, so hopefully that helps you out there with the Bankers has been around for years. The card, though, the crypto Visa card only has been around just this year. All right. So it's already been out. There's like 30 to 40,000 people that already have the card around the world. There's no borders with crypto, right? The only border is if your government tries to snatch it when it comes through customs, which is what originally happened when they're testing and starting out like 7, 8 months ago, 9 months ago. They were sending batches because they would send, you know, like there could be 500 cards, but the packages, the envelopes, they go to customs. Customs is looking at this thing like, okay, great. Sometimes they open them, throw them away because of their postal services, and all countries are different. Then they wouldn't even deliver it to the people. So they had all kind of little issues going on, but not due to illegalities. It was just due to, if you're in a third world country, you guys know, well, nobody's watching this from a third world country, but if you're in a country that doesn't really have their mail system that goes to every location and is expected, then you can understand when it comes to customs and then it has to go to a certain province. And all of a sudden it's like, well, mail gets sent to that province once every 3 weeks. Now it gets there. Now it sits on a shelf because post office doesn't run every day. So now it takes 2 months to get there or not at all, lost in whatever. So that's what they were working on. And now they've solved some of those issues. They did a soft launch, so to speak. So I'm very happy that they did that. And so now people are finding out. Some people it takes 3 to 4 weeks. Some people in America, 2 to 3. Africa, Asia, it takes like a month to a month and a half, depending on where you are. So that's what they had to deal with. Now they figured out they have a special deal with, like how we have UPS. Now they have a special deal. So now it goes through, right? FedEx ship from somewhere, or you ship FedEx to another country, then the customs handle it all at the same time. So this is what happened. So they've been around long before, but this card has only been around like less than a year. All right. Just so you know, two different things. They have other business activities going. All right. There's the CBS News. Here we go. Free ATM withdrawals in some DR ATMs. EV Place. I don't know about that. Where? Because I don't know about if I don't know. Unless this is something new. DRs. Well, every ATM I use, and I'm not staying at the resorts. I'm staying outside of resorts. So I don't. All the ATMs have a fee. I've never ran into one that didn't have a fee. Unless, of course, you bank at that location, it doesn't have a fee. So my banks doesn't have a fee if I use my bank card, but at the bank. But if I go and use it at somebody else's terminals, it's a fee. So let me know what you are referring to. Revolut card. You know what? Revolut card's been out a while. It was an invention a while back. Yeah, I've heard about this Revolut card. Let me see if it's still the same. Haven't heard from these guys in a while. This has been out for a long time. I think if this is the right one, I think it is. Debit prepaid card linked to mobile app. Um, hey, okay. Revolut card. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Free ATM network. Um, you're gonna have to talk if you have the Revolut card. Revolut offers free ATM withdrawals from a large in-network ATM. Yeah, they're on the all point systems, 55,000. But fees apply for out of network usage. Yeah, same as most Visa cards or these type of cards. They usually, I don't know if Bankers is on a network. I don't know. They're from Mexico, so I don't know about if they have that. I don't think they do. But um, I don't even know why you use ATMs anymore. My thing is, I don't, I mean, I guess if you need to make withdrawals, I guess that's cool. But I really don't care if I had to pay $3, $4. I don't really care either way at this point. But if they have free ATMs, that'd be great. Yeah, they do say they have free. They say a higher monthly up to $800. You won't pay any Revolut. ATM fees when the plans within the plan's limit. Um, so you know what? I don't know what Revolut is though. Personal business. I'm on their website right now. I don't know what they are. CY 65 plus million global customers stick with Revolut. Yeah, if you have 65 million customers, yeah, you're gonna make your own network. I love it. That's great. We don't have a problem with this. Uh okay, this is great. Daily limit of 550. It could go up to 1,050. That's cool. We never charge you withdrawal fees, and any of our 55,000 in network ATMs are on the what was that? All point. Outside of our ATM network, withdrawal fees of 2% may apply. Okay, great. To me, I don't really care about 2%. I mean, $500. I mean, let's see what that is. Is that going to be $10? Then I will care. Let's see, 500 times 2%. Yeah, I will care. 2% is $10. I mean, it is what it is. 1,000, $20. Okay. It's like, how do I load it? I mean, do I have to have a bank account? What do I got to have? 4.5% APY. Yeah, there's no APY. But again, crypto, and I'm rocking with the bank guys. Here we go. 100 referrals for set up a card. Okay. How much is the card then? That's crazy. If they're going to give you $100, what's the card? That's crazy. It starts getting that's pricey. Okay, so you know my next question. You know my next question. Revolut Technologies is in the United States. Funds in your Revolut prepaid card account would be transferred to and held by Lead Bank. There you go. Funds loaded onto your Lead Bank issue card will be insured up to the applicable limits, whether your funds are held directly by Lead Bank or through one of its networked FDIC insured institutions, of course. So we're talking about FINRA. We're talking about being in the United States. Okay, hard no. Not going to happen. Sorry, not for me. Not having it. That's the reason I use it. But thank you for mentioning so people would know. It's fine with me. No fees of paying Revolut Premium, $10 to $15, 100. Okay, well, man. Again, this is in the USA, so there's going to be fees. No doubt about it. That's great. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, stock market trading, volatility is your winning formula. Why do I say that? Here, I'll do some things. Let me get this off screen real quick. Let's just exit this for a second. Let me do something else. Let me go over here. Let me go over here and do something else here. Let me pop this up. Been over here experimenting a little bit. I'm on page Candlestick Bible. I'm on page like 102, 103. Still have up to 168 more pages to go. But we're taking our sweet time. All right. We're taking our sweet time, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing anything crazy. Nothing crazy. All right. Nothing crazy. Okay. Stock market trading. It was originally based in Europe. Unfortunately, not anymore. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I heard of it before, like 5 years ago, I think, when they first came out with it. And yeah, unfortunately, not anymore. Again, you guys, over the last 5, 6 years, the United States made agreements with other countries with their banking. so they can grab American citizens' money on other countries' soil. And they actually signed off. Almost all countries. I mean, 210, 203 countries actually signed the agreement. So if I moved outside, like all you guys want to be those passport bros and gals, and you say, I want to live outside the United States, and you move to another country, and you have a bank account in that other country, you're probably going to live in one of those top 200 countries. They've already signed an agreement that if the United States says, hey, I want to come down and see John Smith. I understand he's a money launderer. He's a whatever fraudster or whatever. I need you to take the money out, hold his money out of his account where it's restricted, and send it to us. They signed that agreement. 200 countries at least, because there's only like 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 countries that did not sign. And DR is one of them, just so you guys know. There's a few others. But again, for the most part, because of course everybody wants to be on that Swift network, right? That's what the leverage is. They're like, all right, well then we'll just make sure you can't bank with, you won't, your banking chart will be removed. Whoever, so that's what they're doing, right? Or they'll restrict, we'll take your money at your banks inside the US, right? So you guys got to get, you don't know where you live. So the point is, that is the point. So I don't need the United States government knowing anything that I have outside the US. They already trying to figure out where everybody has stuff. All right. And you have to think it's for a reason, right? Why would you care? You have to, I believe it is for a reason, because when you have a falling empire, a flailing empire that's going down, you figure ways to extract your money, because you don't want to take money from your friends, the rich guys. You want to take money from the poor bastards out here, the OCs, the 80% that are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't care if it goes up to 9 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck, as long as a select few people, 30 to 45 million people, are living high off the hog because they have all the money. Because they own a majority of the businesses. They own a majority, 93% of the stock market. Mom and pop businesses are out of business, so there's no low level competition, so their prices can be whatever they want. Do you understand the problem yet? Stock market trading, ladies and gentlemen, investing in yourself, you need to do it now. If it's not going to be stocks, then pick something else that is out of preview of the United States, because you can be anywhere and trade on any stock market. Even if you didn't have the US stock market, you could trade on Australian stock market or the London stock market. Just saying. There's other stock markets all over the world. But once you learn to trade, you can fish for life. And by the way, I wish I would have known about this a lot sooner, because I would have put this stuff in my children's hands when they were 1 year old. All right. So by the time they have 15 years of stock trading experience, they would be able to take down armies. All right. Just by themselves. Tamara Larry, welcome. Another investor in the house to the After Christmas Financial Friday night live stream. And she brings her tagline this evening: hello, all. Hello, all to you. And by the way, speaking of this, Tamara Larry's in the medical field. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And this brings up something for all the women out there, which you won't think of it like that. But let me ask you something. When they say, hey, therapist, uh, doctors, physicians, nurses, when they start counting this, right? And they say it's no longer a professional business. Do you understand? Or a professional job? You know what that means? That means that you can't go get financial aid if you want to go into these programs. Reason why I say women, you should pay attention, and that's why you should learn how to stock trade yourself. What happens when you have a lot of mediocre white dudes running the government, and they want to make sure that they stay number one, and they want to make sure that women are in their place. The things that they said that they were taking away the professional services. What if I told you 60 to 70% of those jobs were in the hands of women? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Again, do you know what country you live in? They're doing this on purpose. So that means against women, to make sure their jobs pay goes down. Professionalism automatically means they can't get the additional schooling to increase to a higher level. Make it more difficult. Let's just put it that way. All right? Let's get real. Tamara Larry. Hopefully everything's going well. Hopefully you had a great and wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year's coming up. So I know everything's going to go well. But again, ladies and gentlemen, there's lots of things that you guys don't understand what they are out here doing. You're just sitting there willy-nilly working your ass off, working all week, wake up and be like, man, I just went to the grocery store today. The stuff that used to be like 100, 125 is now 200, 225. You're sitting out there going, hey, man, what's this, my premium for 2026? What do you mean? This is damn near double. I opened up my energy bill, electric. Hey, wait, what? How's this happening? I've been on vacation. How's my bill damn near double? We weren't even here last month. What's going on? All of that is going down in a lot of people's minds and sight right now. They're opening up things and they're going, this can't be right. Something must be wrong here. Stop being in denial. It's going down. Just what we said before. Energy bills going up, insurance bills going up, property tax bills going up. There's no way out. You're in the matrix. The only way out is you need to remove yourself from a bad situation. How you do that? Buy property, get a business, get a bank account outside the United States to give yourself another option. And by the way, because that other option is available to you, that's why the United States is proactive. They want people's names, they want people's bank accounts, they want all the people to check in with the embassy. Like, nah, ain't gonna happen, man. Sorry. Even though they can check the flight records because your passport dings it, so they know where you went. But they're not going to have access to your other stuff in a lot of cases. And they're not going to have access to my stuff, is all I can tell you. So, again, just get your guys' minds right. Um, uh, all right. Here, let me go down the list because I was talking about those professional jobs, no longer professional. I'm going to start. Here we go. U.S. Department of Education proposal under the Trump administration reclassify many master's and doctoral degrees, like those in nursing, social work, education, public health, physical therapy, as non-professional for federal loan purposes, which restricts borrowing limits, sparking controversy as to these fields are critical, often female dominated, and facing shortages, despite the administration calling it a loan technicality, not a value judgment. I don't care what you want to call it. If you're a female and you live in America, guess what? Handmaid's Tale is just right around the corner. Just saying. And hashtag I told y'all so. You guys know who I'm talking about, not you guys here. You guys know what side I rock with. I rock with equality for all. I rock with, if you can't hang and you're mediocre, then you can't hang and you're mediocre. So you deserve exactly what you should get. I don't rock with you beating somebody's ass, not physically. You're beating them in business. You're beating them to the punch. You're making more money than them. And then you got these mediocre dudes going, hold on, man. fraud, drug use, money laundering. Oh no, we got to block this. Hey, why don't we make a new law to block this? Mediocre. You guys don't know where you live. And here they are now, female dominated. And now, females, you are also being put in a category of minorities, which you were in the first place. And now, all those nice, livable wage jobs, there's going to be less of them. And now I'm going to be scared to go to the hospital because now you're going to have a whole bunch of undereducated with the newer procedures and newer information because you're going to have less people. And now what? Do you guys understand what's happening out here? This is why you need to be in the stock market, crypto trading game. All right. I don't need to say any more about this because this is disgusting. Oh, by the way, hold on. These fields are already understaffed: nurses, teachers, therapists. Many excluded fields are largely staffed by women and minorities. You guys getting the picture yet? Getting the big picture? Full list of degrees not classified as professional is in Newsweek, November 2021. So we're going to go over there right now. All right. So you guys can see I'm not just blowing hot air. You can understand who's going down. All right. And by the way, you don't have these high paying professional jobs raising up. Now, all of a sudden, those places that they used to live, they have to say, well, wait a minute, if I'm not going to be getting my job isn't worth what it used to be, and I got to pay to do any increase of education, maybe I won't because now I got to pay. Just saying, it's expensive. So now what? And then you say you don't want H-1B or you don't want immigrants to come in that are doctors and lawyers and physical therapists and all this. So now they're not on the mark. They're not in the game. So now they go back to their corner country. And so all of a sudden, good luck, Americans. It's going to be bad. All right. And it's going to get worse. So therefore, you need to get into the game. The stock market's never going away. The crypto market never going away because now the United States government, they're flailing. Now we have to deal with changing one non-currency, which is paper, because that paper is debt, to another currency that's not a currency for stable coins. Neither one's currency. Let's get real, but they do control it. So therefore, they can do whatever they want. All right. You can't do whatever you want. You can't go down to the bank and say, hey, man, I'm $1 trillion in debt. Hey, can I get some interest only $100 million? You can't do that. You can't go down and say, you know what, I'm offering some bonds. Who wants to buy my bonds? Because I have a concept of a plan to build something. So you can buy my bonds and I'll give you 2 or 3% over 5 years. Make it 10 years. You can't do that. Just like Puerto Rico can't do that. I had to throw that in there. Puerto Rico's not a state, but it's a U.S. territory. And they cannot do their own tariff deals. They can't do their own bond deals because they are a U.S. territory, not a state. That's why Puerto Rico's in the situation that it's in under this government. Just like Guam, just like a bunch of other territories, U.S. doesn't give a damn about. All right, enough of the bashing. It's harmful rhetoric out here. Anybody can Google, anybody can find out what I'm saying is true. All right, let's go. I'm going to end this tonight because I'm about to get worked up because I need you guys to understand you have 1 year and 1 week to go. 75 credit score. You want to improve your credit score? It's very simple. Do debt resolution, debt, credit resolution. Do not file bankruptcy. No need. Just hit up our girl, Tracy, after Christmas. All right. Tracy, TRACY.sharpe, SHARPE at moneyladder.com. All right. I'm putting in the chat room. No excuses. I put the Newsweek article in there for everybody who thinks that this is a fantasy. It's happening for everybody out there that is in the medical health field, teachers, all this professionals. And these guys got nerve to do this when most of these guys don't have the credentials. This is the thing. This is the thing. When I have trust fund wannabes who've been getting by based on their family most of the time, money, buying their way in, or those my grandfather went to Harvard, so my son went to Harvard, so my daughter and my son get to go to Harvard without having to pass any test. You see what I'm saying? Doing all this BS, right? Meanwhile, you have to figure out a way. And so what do? They pull the ladder up and say, "Oh no, we're not giving you away. No, we just want our way where we can just get our children in, we can get our family in without any qualifications whatsoever. But we're going to make it harder for you to succeed." What kind of country is that? Sounds like we're going back to 1800s to me. All right, let's go. Um, Bishop's bankruptcy opens new chapter in the Episcopal liability. Ex-managing director wins wrongful dismissal case. Trinidad and Tobago. BRICS quietly. Oh, here we go. That's not enough. Remember, we were talking about BRICS. Those countries, they offloaded $27 billion of U.S. Treasury exposure, as they should. They have their own currency that they're trying to do, right? I wouldn't be holding. Look, that's why this is why gold and silver and other precious metals are rising, because people are taking their money out of the US market and buying those because other currencies around the world are worse than the US currency. So they're like, well, we'll just put it in gold and silver, platinum, palladium, copper, whatever. So again, this is no surprise. I expect this fully, and I also expect the volatility for gold and just what I mentioned, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, other precious metals. I expect them to keep going. They are undervalued about 100%. And actually, I would say like 1,000%. In other words, gold is going, or silver is going for 78, I think, right now. It should be like in the hundreds, like 600, 700 itself. Gold should be like 30 G's or something. I mean, it's up there. That's what it should be. And the reason why I say that is because I took from 1979 and I took the inflationary rate and the real one, not the bogus 2% or 3.5, not that, because we would go to shadowstats.com and they would have the actual old calculation for CPI, Consumer Price Index. And oftentimes it's double digits. So if you just on average said, okay, I'll deal with 10% every year, and you use the value from that up until 2020-ish or somewhere, 2018, 2017, I think I was when I calculated somewhere like that, everything is way off. So this surge in pricing is no surprise with gold and silver. All right. So yeah, BRICS reduced their US Treasury exposure. It's not that much. Brazil sold 5 billion. India sold 12 billion. China sold 11 to 12 billion. Yeah, but what they normally do is buy gold, and they're doing a hell of a lot better. Just saying, over the last month or month and a half, they've done damn near great. So yeah, they include gold, non-dollar currencies, and other short duration financial investments. Yeah, see, BRICS is over here buying gold because that's a store of values against every other currency. So even their own. So it makes sense. I mean, that's smart, in my opinion. All right. Another liquor brand is filing. Jesus, man, this is just, it's filing bankruptcy. They apparently didn't get in touch with tracy.sharpe with an E at the end at moneyladder.com. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. Um, Let me go do this because there is a video that she was working for another company, but if you see the video, it still has the same. You'll understand they do the same similar thing, so that might help you out. This is over probably 2 years. It doesn't matter. I'll get you guys this link, and I'll have hers in there as well again. So everybody on replay, check this out. Make sure if you're on the mobile and you're watching YouTube on mobile, go to the first comment, tap it, and then you should see a window that opens that hopefully says, if you want to see the live chat, this is how you can get some of these links. These links will also be down below in the description box. All right. So we'll make it simple for you. There you go. All right. It was originally based in Europe. Yes. Hello, all. Okay. I'm just scrolling through, see if I missed anything because MDA, here we go. Here we go. When do you plan on trading live? In fact, I'm going to be doing it next week. Even though I haven't finished the Candlestick Bible. Well, I might over the weekend, but I doubt it because I usually don't move 40, 50 pages at one sitting. But because I go back, it's hard to, retain. It's no way you can retain everything, but I want to retain something, and I'm formulating. But next week, man, that's when I'm starting. I missed out on all kind of great stuff this past week. All the movements would have been awesome. And because of the candlesticks, it was glaring that it was just perfect. So I'll be next week, MDA0214. So we'll be going. I should be doing the salsa dance. I really believe it. I don't see, with the volatility the way it is, I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be more volatility because as we close out the end of the year, a lot of people are going to be selling and buying. And I do believe that crypto is a very interesting thing because let me see. I saw somebody sent me something. And did it really drop to like 80 something again, thousand? That's incredible. Uh, that's really shocking. All right. So the Dow, it looks like today everything ended slightly down. VIX, there's nothing happening there at $13. Gold, 45.62. Is that another all-time high? And yes, Bitcoin did drop to 87,000. Even Bitcoin's being volatile. And America wants you to put coins and utilize crypto. This is going to make you okay. Here we go. The United States liquor industry has faced problems on multiple fronts. First, Americans just aren't drinking as much as they used to. Of course not, because the price of alcohol, it ain't cheap. What the heck, man? Um, okay. The percentage of U.S. adults who say they consume alcohol has fallen to 54. Oh my, that's low. The lowest by 1 percentage point in Gallup's nearly 90-year trend. That consumption is bad for one's health. Yes, it is. Now the majority view for the first time. Yeah, it is bad for you. You lose brain cells. So then that means you have to replace your brain cells. So get your blueberry shakes with your Orgain vanilla powder. Make sure you get your other stuff. Bananas, blueberries, a couple blueberries, a banana, lion's mane powder, MCT powder, just to give you guys a few stuff. All right. Get some of that in a shake with water, ice cubes. Make sure ginger for your gut. Cut a few real ginger, chop it, not all of it, but just enough chops so you have about 10 little small pieces or so in there also, so that you got some ginger in your system. Turmeric with black pepper. There is a thing. They're both together. Curcumin is what you really want. Curcumin, not the stuff that's in your spice cabinet. Curcumin, black pepper. They come combined. Go to Amazon. You'll find it. Again, this is the magical elixir, ladies and gentlemen. All right. From 1997 to 2023, at least 60% of Americans reported drinking alcohol. Wow. The figure fell to 62% in 2023, 58%, now 54%. This is the lowest ever, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, who's going out of business? U.S. spirits exports to Canada plummeted 85%. See, again, you mess around and find out. I told you, The other countries don't have to deal with America. We don't produce anything that they need. We buy from outside. This was a simple no brainer. This is why previous administrations tried to figure out a way to get manufacturing facilities in America, which was not going to work. So if you can't do that, then the only other logical thing to do was we're going to need more electricity. Our energy grid is messed up. So it makes sense if we do green renewable energy sources and make green renewable energy vehicles so we don't have to rely on oil. But now, if you don't rely on oil, guess what happens? The light crude oil that America consumes, which is not the gas that mostly goes in cars, now all of a sudden you have a problem because now it's not worth, if the gas prices go down like they are now, under $60 a barrel, now it's not worth it to American oil, well, the small American oil companies, to actually refine it. So they shut down, they lay people off. And by the way, livable wage jobs. So that creates a byproduct. So again, we have idiots at the helm. Just saying. All right. So that's why we should have been in solar energy, green energy, because that's the new stuff with livable wage jobs. Then you would have employed more people, because once you do that, it's like an arc. Because then once you get to a point where it's efficient, then it starts being okay. Every house, instead of having uh, tiles on the house without panels, all of a sudden it'll be, maybe it's new tiles, because there are tiles that take in solar, but it's not efficient. But now all of a sudden you have a new system where now people are like, I bought a house, but it include the panels. And now your electric bill is damn near zero. But the energy companies don't like that, obviously, right? See, giving money to the rich dudes because they don't want you being able to just be off grid. So therefore, in certain states like California, they won't allow you to cover your rooftop with 100% of solar panels, so you won't have a bill. You can't do that. I tried. They will they won't let you do it. That's the law in Cali. All right. So, and in a lot of states, they won't let you do 100% coverage. All right. And in some states in the United States and countries, if you have solar panels, they will still try to charge you like in DR. SEPN still charges people what their average bill would be, even though they have solar panels and not even on the grid. America does this too in certain states and counties and around the world. This is nothing new, because the energy companies are like, they lose it, because they're like, wait a minute, if everybody has some way of renewable energy, then we're not going to make as much revenue, right? But you make revenue, you don't even fix the grid or improve the grid. So what difference does it make to me? But we have presidents who come into office and say no renewables, no nothing. And I'm like, well, you can't coal your way to more energy, especially if your electric grid is not being improved, which costs trillions of dollars. We don't have, apparently. We want to kidnap people and spend a trillion on that. So take your pick. You're picking the wrong things. And that's why you have to protect yourself, that we talked about on Wednesday. And that's why you need to fish for yourself via the stock market, crypto markets, or any other markets that you can trade. See, this is what I'm saying. You F around, mess around with your people who's buying your goods and services. They say, why are we buying from you? We can buy from somebody else. So in Canada, 68% decline in spirits, liquors. In the EU market, 12% decline. In the UK market, 29% decline. Japan, 23%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is hundreds of millions of dollars for an American company. Now, do you understand how tariffs don't work? You getting a clue yet? A tax for anything imported into America, American citizens have to pay more. When they do reciprocal tariffs, when our goods, US spirits, wants to sell in EU, wants to sell in Canada, wants to sell in Japan, and they do reciprocal tariffs, now it costs more money for those citizens when the product arrives. Those citizens do just what American citizens do. Nah, nada. We're not buying anymore today. We don't have to F with you. We have other people that the prices are a little bit lower. It's not like you make the best in the world. There's a big world out here. So we'll just pay $5, $10 less for something that's pretty much on the same level. Now, do you guys understand on a real world scale just what happened in late 1929, 30s when they were doing this same nonsense 100 years ago, damn near? This is not rocket science. All right. All right. We're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to be on here too much longer. It's Friday night. I just got paid. We get to do the salsa dance. And therefore, have a happy new year when it comes around. Because on Monday, we're going to be talking about more on the Bankus card. I'm going to be bringing up because since it is a money making venture, why not? Because that's another thing you can do. Prepaid cards is always good. There's not too many times that a prepaid card, bank, or anything all of a sudden goes bye bye. I mean, it's happened. It's happened before, but it's often rare because that money is in accounts, and if it's sold, then it's another company that takes over and they issue new cards, and you still have your money. It's just in that transition period, you might be missing 2 weeks to a month, but that's how it goes. But you rarely lose on prepaid cards, even though it has happened once or twice. Because even in a regulated environment, like I said, what's regulation? Yeah, okay. All right, let's go. Brian P., how did you like those emails, man? I'm not liking none of it. None of it. Actually, MDA0214, I'm going to be paying attention to a few things because I don't really care. I have let me see what I have up right now. I have the US 30, SPY, XAU USD, BTC USD. Any three of those would have worked this week. All right, that's what I have up. That's what I'll be probably trading. I'm probably going to stick with my XAU USD because my God, it's just ridiculous. Just crazy what's been happening out here. All right. But because of the same, almost it mirrors each other. The USD 30, the US 30, SPY, SPX, they all mirror each other pretty much, except the SPX does not. But everything else, it's just straight up starting on the 19th. It's just been rising all the way up until today. So it would have been nice for people to play the long game. So all those swing traders were loving life, right? Everybody. What's going on? I got wires crossed under my feet. All right. Yeah. So you got any? I don't know what you trade though. Okay, let's go. No cheap viewers. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to be looking at everything. You know what? I feel very confident. I'm going to be looking at different, but I see it almost, this funny how things almost mirror each other if you look across them. Like I said, let me go look at BTC, what happened. Yeah, BTC the other way went the other way. It dropped. There was a big drop today. Huge, huge drop. 89 to in just one 4 hour, no, one 1 hour candle. Went from 89,000 down to 87. Whoa, wait. It actually went Oh wow. It went down to 87 into 86.9 territory on the downside. That is nice. 89,000 down to 87,000 for an hour. Just down, 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 down. And earlier at 4 a.m. Eastern, it went the other way. It went from 87.4 or yeah, 87,400, we'll call it, up to 89,000, roughly 100 in an hour. That is crazy. Plenty of money to have been made. And there's a difference of about 12 hours when it came crashing down, not crashing, but it dropped dramatically. And the candles, yeah, it shows that early morning you might have made some moves. And you would have been able, yep, because it went to all time, well, today's highs anyhow. So you would have made some other moves with the candle change and the big thing coming down. So yeah, you would have made this afternoon, starting around 2 or 3 o'clock, you would have been like, hey man, this is something to watch. So yeah, I'm doing all those. I have them up on my charts right now. All right. The SPX, I'm not going to be doing because that's like choppiness. XPY, I might be doing that one. Anyhow, I'm just going to have them all up because it won't matter. I'll just look to the most advantageous setup for me. I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm making sure that it's for me, how I'm going to trade, right? So, yeah, I like volatility. And like I said, I missed out over the last week because there was so much volatility, and especially on the gold and silver markets, which, by the way, I need to bring those charts up too. Now that I'm thinking about it, let me put these up here too. Where's, let's see here. Hmm. Metals. Yeah, okay, I got the gold. Oil is interesting as well, but I'm not going to mess around with that. Okay, I'm gonna have to do. I'll do this afterwards, but nonetheless, I'll be bringing in some other things, but they're almost pretty much the same. So that's what I'll be doing, and you guys will know on Monday night how I did because I'll be back in the game. All right. And again, I got to give credit to MDA0214 because I was talking about initially an Autobot. And after the Autobot blew the account or almost blew the account, I was like, hold on, I don't even know what it's doing. So once I did the Candlestick Bible, started paying more attention, doing demos, and, I was like, wait a minute, this thing is doing this. I recognize what it's doing. Then he's the one that said, man, why do that? You can trade yourself. And I was like, after I started learning more and more, I was like, he's damn right I could have. And I don't even have to be doing it over. Well, the Autobot was for a reason. It was set it and forget it, right? But so much for set it and forget it. Now I don't even have to really. You don't have to pay attention all day. You can get alerts. You can do all kind of things. So that's where I was like, oh, then I can just peruse. I can just be doing whatever I want, just paying attention to candles, getting alert, and then go look and see if this fits the criteria and let's do it. So that's what I'm going to be doing anyhow. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be successful. I don't think there's going to be a problem. 2.5 months I've been studying, just so everybody knows. I'm not, and I'm still studying, by the way. I got some other medias when you're looking up something for stock market trading, let's just say I Google it. And then when you go to social media, all of a sudden all these ads pop up, these 15-second or 5-second ads and stuff. So people are like, I'll send you some free information. I'll send you this and that. So I now have another PDF, which is kind of funny. That is for candlesticks as well. And then I got some other information on trading, which is just info. It's not having to do with candlesticks. So I'm just reading other sources, so to speak, other research, as you say, because people trade differently. So I want to see what somebody else is thinking because that could help me formulate something. They come up with some new. The person just popped up and keeps popping up that they used to work for like the federal government. And they go, oh, I got the RCI thing. And I'm like, okay, I know what that is because I thought that was somewhat of an advantage too. And it kind of is. But they're like, oh, yeah, I just used the RCI. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. Maybe you've been doing, and of course, it was a lady that has been doing it for 20 or 30 years. So now her trading's not really going to be based on just RSI. She instinctively knows what to look for. I mean, you could probably take that out and she would still know what to do just by looking at the candle pattern. She wouldn't even need any other indicators. And that's pretty much where this is right now for me. I don't really need indicators at all. Because once I understood the candle patterns, I'm like, okay, I like this. Which, by the way, so DIM Powell's, when he comes back, I know what he uses too. He uses probably the trend, because you can go high, low, and do a trend, right? So, because we were talking about this the other day, because MDA 0214 was like 2 or 3 weeks back. He said, "Oh, you don't need to worry about the well, I can't remember what it was though. The candles. No, he thought that DIM Powell says I don't pay attention to the candles or something like that. But everybody pays attention to the candles. You have to mark up. So he was just like saying, well, for me, I'm pretty sure he does what I am kind of doing too, marking up the highs, the lows, the 4 hour, the daily, doing this, and then looking at candles, and then have a trend. And I got other stuff on my screen. Like I got the moving average of what, 20, 20, 20, I think, something like that. I think that's on here right now that I have. I'm looking at it right now. Moving average 21. So it's looking like it from the moving average, you start calculating everything. It looks like gold is going to continue to go up because it's above the moving average. So it's on the upside, even though I don't know what's going to happen next week, but something's probably going to come out on Monday. The government's going to do something crazy. So we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get your candlestick. If you want the candlestick trading Bible, go to stopstrugglingnow.com, or it's in the chat room. I downloaded. Oh, did I? Hold on. I don't think I put it in here. I didn't. I did. Oh, wait. Maybe I did. I'll put it in again just in case somebody catches this on the other side. All right. I think it's very important. MDA 0214, he has a different, slightly different. He thinks you should learn because he's the one that told me I should learn. But then he says he likes to get into it, which again, this is almost like the poker biz. People would say, well, you don't know how to play poker. Oh, just start playing. Well, yeah, but you're going to lose money, right? Just like, again, I know the numbers, 90 to 95% of new traders lose money, lose their bankroll. Money management is key. You don't you have to figure out your money management. That's another thing. Do you want to lose what, 5%, 3%? What's the most you want to lose in a day? That's what you have to figure out so you can keep, because you got to have those win days. So you want to have a high win rate, as I call it. You want to, if you go 7 times, you enter trades and you get to win 7 out of 10, then you're probably going to be successful. But you're also not going to give back what you've won, right? A large percentage of what you won. So that's why you have to do money management. And if you do get upset or tilt, as we used to say in poker, you should not be playing anymore, because your decision making when you're on tilt, losing, is not good. When you're winning, your decision making, you're rocking and rolling. But when you're losing, you start mindset, I'll win it back. I'll get it back. I'll start making risky moves because then I can get it all back at one time. All that used to come in when you play poker. When you get experience at poker, you understand each hand is a separate hand. You can't think emotionally about how you play. And so therefore, you have to be unemotional about when you're trading, in my opinion, because you should know what you're looking at and you have to feel that that's your best point to enter your trade and do what you're doing with your trade. But by practicing and understanding what you are trying to do and seeing the charts, that should give you at least a little help before you start putting in some real money. Because, like I said, a lot of people lose when they first enter stock trading. And this is also why I cannot believe this right here. I'm just going to tell you guys one thing. There's one thing you need to look for. Remember when Amazon came out and people were selling things on Amazon? 5, 6 years ago, my daughter says, Dad, somebody wants to, I can pay somebody. I can't remember whatever the number was, 5 grand or 10 grand or whatever. And they'll build me an Amazon store. They'll uh, get the products on there for me. And I said, yeah. I said, but the problem is Amazon is a race to the bottom. Plus, you're dealing with Amazon taking you off the front page if your product sells real great. I said, there's a bunch of things going on. It's a race to the bottom because everybody's able to get these products from overseas. And so basically, somebody's going to buy something, and let's say their profit is $20. Well, in order to beat that person, the next person is going to go, well, I'll take 18. So they keep going to the bottom. And then if your product is hot, Amazon calls up the supplier themselves and says, well, we'll order X amount. And they put it on the front page. I said, you're competing against a bunch of things. And anytime somebody starts selling you stuff, that means the party's already over because now they're not making that much money on actually doing what they're trying to tell you they're doing. They're making more money from the information they sell you or the money you give them to do the forming of it with no guarantee that you're going to make money. So now I see all of these trading guys. I'll give you this free this. I'll give you this free this. Come and see my webinar. Come and see this. I know because the thing is, it's easier to give the axe and the picks when somebody's actually going to go to a field to dig for gold, pan for gold. I would rather be the store that's selling it to them while they go try to find their golden dream because I know I'm making this money. So just keep that in mind when you're out here. There's a bunch of people talking about trading, a bunch, and people trade differently. All right. Just so you guys understand, you can go on YouTube any day of the week and there's thousands of people, thousands doing trading stuff, all different. Not all, but quite a few different. They have their own different things. One guy saw what was he doing? Uh, 9 candle movements. I saw another person. I do the 1 minute. Another person. I use the 5 minute. Another person. I use the hour. Another person. I do 4 hours. Another person. I do daily. In fact, I'll stay in a trade overnight. I could be for 2 days. Swing trading. I'm just like, there's so many different ways and you're going to have to figure out which way fits your style, fits your feeling comfortable that you're going to be successful. You don't have to trade like me or MDA or DIM Pals or post retirement travel. Everybody trades differently and everybody's mindset on how they're trading is different. So just keep that in mind. If you want to learn from people, no problem. You can look around and see what other people are doing. That's advised because you never know, something might click that makes it click for you. All right, just keep that in mind. That's my only advice I can give to everybody because stock market trading, crypto trading, all of it's on the table and you could have been big winners if you knew what you were doing already. All right, so I should have been in the market last week, but again, I'm not in the mood. I couldn't be. I was traveling. I'm trying to help my aunt and my uncle because of her health issues. So my mind, I can't just sit here because I got to go out every day to make sure my aunt's being taken very well care of at the facility. You know how people slack, all right? So and these facilities, they are doing this 12 to 1, 12 people for one nurse at this new facility that she's been at. And another facility, it was more like it was like 3 to 1. So there's people all over all the time. The next place, because it's a lower level, because she's stable now, is 8 to 1. But see, this is what we're talking about. When you start saying professional nurses, RNs, CNAs are no longer professionals, and now all of a sudden there's a wage situation, now you have less people, but now there starts to be a problem. 12 to 1 is crazy. I mean, again, she's stable, but hey, can I get some little help over here? And now it's like a 10, 15, 20 minute wait because one person is already involved with two other people that they had to get to 10 minutes ago. So it's bad out here. People have no idea until you should all go to a facility where people are uh, in a nursing home, wound situations. You should go to these facilities that are small, not hospitals, but these small facilities. You should walk in there and say, "Hey, I just wanted to look around. Somebody's elderly in my family." You should go in there and start looking around about how many people's there to help. And they have wings, of people that's in there, and they get around to them. And if they have 50 people in there, you guys know, I mean, you can do the math yourself. And you have a 8 hour shift, let's say, and you got 50 people that you got to see. How many people are you going to see if you have to be in there 10 minutes? And then somebody says, "Hey, we need you right now." So now you're diverted for a second for some emergency, but you don't have anybody else to step in. That's where the ratios start getting effed up. And then if you have Medicaid, Medicare, and other health insurance agencies that aren't paying, you guys get the problem. So if we would have had healthcare for all, none of this would have been a problem. Okay, enough. I won't get into it. Let's go. 2026 is almost here. Get your guys get set, because stock, crypto market trading and investing ideas are here, and we're going to be talking about it on Monday. And I'm going to be talking about the Bankus card. It's a networking and card type of thing. I hate to say networking because you're going to share it. If I have the card, I'm going to tell people I have the card, and then I downloaded crypto onto the card, so I'll tell other people about it, because if I get 1 or 2% every time somebody uploads or buys a card, cool. And then other people can refer other people and other people. So I don't mind 20, $50, $100, whatever a month, sometimes down the line, because there's no monthly fee. That's the other thing. So if nobody uploads, then nobody makes any commissions. So fair enough. I don't care. What I care about is I don't want control regulation by the United States government at all, because they're grabbing people's stuff around the world in our country under the guise of one other thing. So they can grab me, but it does not matter, because they're not going to be able to do jack crap, is what I'm trying to say. So whatever happens, I'm still going to be like, fine. I don't, whenever this nonsense gets over, I'll be going back and my stuff will be sitting right where it's sitting right now. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can do nothing. Not even you. So I don't really care until they say, "Hey, Eric, you're going to be in here for 25 years or something, unless you tell us where your stuff is." That might be a problem. But no, then I'll just break out. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'll just be a straight gangster at that point. I'll be like, "All right, man, I don't really care. I'm tired of you guys, and I'm too old for this. All right, let's go. I'm having a little fun. You guys got to understand. I think I just think uh, I got a lot of feelings about where we live, because I've been telling people since the '80s where we live, and they would scoff and everything. So that's why I'm watching everything go according to the prediction. And I told people back then, the way everything's made up, I said, we're a third world country. We're not changing anything. There's no upgrades. Our bridges, our roads, where we have a deficit. You can't keep running a deficit, because there's going to be inflation. This is why homes that used to cost 200,000 and 2,000 are now 6 or 700,000. I mean, that's a big change in 20 years, 25 years. All right. So, and it doesn't equate. So if my wages in 2000, let's say I got paid $10 an hour in 2000. Well, if my house went up from 200,000 to 700,000 in 25 years, that's 3.5 times. So now that's the equivalent. In essence, somebody should be getting paid $45, $50 per hour. That's what we're dealing with here. At least. At least. So that's where you have to figure out where you're going to get your extra money from that's independent of the job, independent of any interference. And when you're sitting at home, the only thing that can interfere with you is you not having a cell phone with a hotspot or you not having internet. That's the only thing that can interfere with your stock trading, crypto trading, or any trading within the markets, because the markets are going to keep going. The rich dudes benefit from having free money from the sale and trading of stocks. So they will never go down. They will never take down the stock market. All right. That's never going to happen. Everything else can fall around you, but the stock market will never be removed. All right. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I love you guys very much. Make sure you stay safe over this weekend. A lot of people have what they call holiday anxiety. And so they get a little depression for a lot of people because they feel a certain way. I'm not one of them, so I can't be in their place, but people do things during the holidays and they're upset. So just stay calm, cool, and please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but again, you got to fend for you, yourself, and your family, and you have to look forward and you have to protect yourself. As I said on our Wednesday night show, Christmas Eve, protect your assets, protect your wealth, protect your health. You're going to have to protect yourself because this government's not out here protecting anybody but themselves and their friends. The raping of America. That's what's happening. And you are also the one getting abused because they're taking away our health care, our social security, our safety nets. So people are going to be under anxiety. Just like right now, the people in Pennsylvania, they're on anxiety, going from $540 a month to $1,000 a month for their health care. That anxiety means I don't have enough money to pay for that extra health care. So what does that mean? Now, either I give up my health care or I feed my family. That's where this goes, right? So again, let's go into some numbers real quick before I go. Foreclosures of houses on the rise. All-time credit card debt, another record is achieved. Those are just indicators of our economy. And there's many more to come. I'll be doing a video in the next 3 days about the numbers. I'll have the charts and everything up on the screen. When I do the videos, it won't be a live stream. More than likely, it will be an actual video. So just stay tuned. All right. But just stay calm out here. There's a will, there's a way, and there's a few more ways. You have other levers that you can pull, but the stock market is one of them. Trading in the stock market's one of them. That's another option for you. Nobody can be stopped. There's no barriers to entry other than a little bit of money. All right. And study. The more you know, the more you feel comfortable. That's why you should get in. All right. Just don't do it just because. Just don't do it just because somebody else says that, hey, man, you should do it. You need to study. You always need to study. You need to know cause and effect, what's happening. You need to study the economy as well. Just do more than just the bare minimum, and you could more than likely be successful. All right, let's go. Have a great weekend. I love you guys very much. And just remember, no matter what you do out here, all walks of life, everybody has a situation, but you always keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.